Welcome to For Love and Play. I'm matchmaker comic Yael Meisel. With me is comedians Keenan Weaver and Louie B. For Love and Play, the show about dating like a goddamn adult. We're going to discuss who to spend your time with for love or for play. Let's do it, boys.
This show contains adult content for entertainment purposes. Listener discretion is advised.
Not a doctor.
All right, we're back with another week, guys. I'm Keenan Weaver, and I'm here with only one of my favorite people. Louis had to sacrifice himself due to technical difficulties. So I'm here with the queen, Yael. What's going on?
Hey, how are you?
I'm all right. This week is going to be good. We're going to talk about it's wedding season, so we're just going to talk about that. I have a good friend that I've worked with. We're going to introduce him. Max Cohen, thank you for joining us.
My pleasure. Good to be with you guys.
All right. And you have your lovely wife.
Yes, my great wife Vicky is here with us. She'll be joining us.
Hello.
Well, thank you both for coming on. I think we're going to just really jump right in to why we brought you on here, Max. Is when I did a show with you, I was on enemy territories. I was in a synagogue, right? I'm Christian.
It was a safe place. It was good.
I didn't feel safe.
You didn't feel safe in a synagogue?
I'm saying that I'd never forget. That's all I'm saying.
What happened?
But all y'all people, but what you did to my Jesus.
Listen, I felt in enemy territory being in Brooklyn. I'm a good Manhattan boy.
I just want to say that had shit to do with me. No, does anyone ever ask either one of you before any Jewish things are done on a massive scale? No one ever asks me crap. You know what I mean? No one cares. They just do it, and then I hear about it later.
You hear about it later. I'm just saying. I went to give back. It was a charity. I went to host, and there was this very funny comic that I had the pleasure to bring up stage, and it was Max. We got to talk in a while, and there were some things that came up. One of them was just how weddings are just crazy to plan. It's crazy to go to. I have a rule for myself that I'm not going to everybody's wedding that invites me. My rule is if I haven't met your significant other before I got to save the date, I'm not coming.
That's a good
sorry.
That's just... We want to hold by that rule, and a friend beat us to the punch. She said, I have to invite you as filler to a wedding, but we should go on a double date first, so it's not awkward when I do invite you. And so she just got in under the wire on that.
Wow.
As a filler?
She's one of our more blunt friends.
Right.
Well, I feel like now that I've eloped, I don't have to go to any weddings.
Yeah, you don't know these people. Shit. Absolutely. Yeah.
I don't have to go to anyone's wedding, even if they're a friend. I eloped, so I didn't make them go to mine. So.
Okay.
Exactly.
So you eloped. Could you tell the story behind that?
Sure. Well, we've been together about 4 years now, and we've been we started the discussions of getting married, and Vicky had talked about, we'd already booked a surfing trip to Costa Rica, and in this time, Vicky had brought up eloping in Costa Rica, and I was the holdout saying, no, I want a small, if we got married, I'd want a small wedding, but I'd at least want my parents, and, as discussions kept going, we realized it's impossible to do a small wedding, and we also had two different friends planning weddings. I had a coworker and another friend planning their weddings. And every day was just miserable for them. They were always stressed and screaming and yelling, and that really pushed me over the edge. I caved, and I was like, "This is it. We got to elope. We got to skip all this debt and stress that goes with planning these weddings."
Right. Because you definitely do get in debt. So Vicky, you brought it up first. Kind of, what was your logic behind that?
Well, I don't like crowds. I hate people.
I love her. I love this woman.
I have a panic disorder. And I like spending money on trips as opposed to a party for strangers. And Costa Rica is my favorite place. And I knew he was ring shopping, so I was like, oh, we should just get married on the beach. And he was like, no, I want my parents there. I'm like, really? Why? And then I said, look, our parents, whatever, they're great people, but none of our pairs of parents had ever said to us they want us to have a party. We did not have any family pressure to have anything. No one in our families cared. I mean, I may have had an aunt who has given me shit, but everyone has an aunt who gives them shit. But
we don't even, who cares about that?
That doesn't count. And,
I realized that all the pressure I thought was out there about what kind of wedding was expected was entirely self-imposed.
Yeah.
Once we said we were going to elope, our parents got right behind it pretty much immediately. All our friends and family got on board. My boss was giving me high fives saying this was the smartest decision I ever made.
I mean, we had a wedding. We had a wedding. It was just on the beach, barefoot with 4 strangers at sunset. It was a wedding. I was still a bride. I had a dress, a suit.
That's great.
But our wedding was, we went out for sushi. Our wedding cost under, so the officiant, Max found this guy, a lawyer named Marcelo, who also officiated Pink's wedding in Costa Rica like 10 years ago. And so he cost some money. We got a photographer. We each got an outfit. I was barefoot. And so we still spent a few $1,000s, but that's really nothing.
Yeah, a few $1,000s is nothing in comparison of what this actually could have
cost. To a Manhattan wedding, which are ridiculous. They make you feel like you need to have Baryshnikov come do ballet at your wedding, or else
it's not really a wedding.
It's not a wedding.
You're saying to not have him come, your wedding. Well, I don't think your wedding is legal if he's not there. Is it?
It's done. It's done.
Your marriage isn't even valid at that point.
It's not valid,
right? No.
You don't have people dressed up in edible gold as statues for $300,000. Your friends aren't even going to show up.
Yeah, if you're not carving ice sculptures, why bother?
Right, all the ice sculptures and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, in the studio right now, I'm the only one who has not been married. And to me, wedding seems like it just seems like an industry. It seems like a business. You got to get the planner, and the planner tells you to do X, Y, and Z. I don't like the whole day.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I don't even like planning my own birthday party. There was no way I was going to enjoy planning a huge wedding.
Exactly.
With people. It would have been miserable. And it would have been stressful. And we get along so well. We realized we didn't want to start this new chapter of our lives fighting and stressed with this kind of crap that happens with planning a wedding. That's not how we like to operate.
But Matt surprised me with it.
Yeah.
You didn't think he was going to go for it at all?
He planned it without telling me.
Oh, okay.
I pulled a big move here. She knew I went ring shopping, but she didn't know that I didn't tell her I'd come around to the eloping idea. So the night that I ended up proposing, she was very happy and very ecstatic and excited about the ring.
About the proposal, not the ring. About spending my life with you.
That too.
That's what I thought, Vicky. But go on, Max.
I love that she clarified it though. I love this. This is a outstanding woman that you got here, Max. Keep going.
Absolutely.
Oh, and it's not a diamond. I didn't want a diamond though.
Yeah, Max. I'm so. Do you have a sister, Vicky? Because this is started.
I'm the only child, but I'm a Gemini, so my other half maybe could leave my body and then.
Yeah.
What is the ring? What is the ring?
She didn't want a rock, and she wanted something vintage looking. So I ended up going with 3 of her girlfriends. It was a nice ladies' night and me. And
scary.
Only way to do it, gentlemen, because otherwise, let her friends pick out the ring. Then it's not your fault.
Right.
To take that off, she still gets the surprise, and she gets what she wants.
Yeah.
I think that's beautiful.
Yeah, it was actually a really fun night, and it was a great way to give me validation that I was picking the right ring, because we picked out a whole bunch of rings, and I found this one, and when one of the friends tried it on, which they all had fun trying on the rings, all of them plus the sales associates started gasping, being like, that's the one, and that really helped cement my decision. So I picked the ring, and she knew I went ring shopping, but she didn't know if I'd gotten anything or what I got, and I'd also come around to wanting to elope, so I also started reaching out to this guy Marcelo and started looking at photographers and talking to this officiant and getting in line what we needed to do, so that the night that I proposed, I gave her the ring, and she was very excited to spend her life with me, as I've been corrected. She said, I do want to talk about getting married in Costa Rica, and that's when I dropped the bigger bomb of, that's great, because it's happening February 21st.
Which was in 3 weeks.
There you go.
Yeah, it was, late January I proposed, and I said, we're getting married in 3 weeks in Costa Rica.
That's wow.
That's
if that's not assertive, that's very 50 Shades of Grey of you, and thank God she was on board. Yeah, listen, bitch, we're getting married in 3 goddamn weeks, whether you like it or not.
I think it's just, that's one of the most romantic stories I've ever heard, and I'm not really one of those persons that get touched. I root for the villain in every movie. That's just the type of guy I am. But your story sounds exactly how I envision. And I feel like if I had ever had a woman that had that type of mind frame, I would have already been married. It's really the show that's behind it, the ring and the...
Yeah, you can still find her. She's out there. There's got to be more.
There is.
Well, see, hold on. Now, see, here's where I want to like interject a little bit because I've been doing this for 12 years, and part of why I think I'm single is because I see so much bullshit on a regular basis that it's like, I'm good. I don't need to deal with this nonsense.
Yeah.
These women that don't have high demands that are still pleasant people, they're very rare. They're not easy to find, and just like women have to kiss a lot of frogs before we get to anything that even looks the fuck like a prince, it's kind of similar in this situation too. Finding
I could be
women,
more of a bitch then, since I'm in such high
you could get away with
Not necessary.
being compliance. Are you kidding me? I'd marry her myself. Fucking hell.
So wait, Yael, have you had a wedding?
I have had a wedding. Yes.
Wedding?
Yes.
So what was your process like?
Oh my God.
That sounds right.
All right. My ex-husband was born and raised in a religious village that's more religious than the religious village it sits in Mea Sharim, which is a Hasidic neighborhood. It gets good. Yeah. We haven't even gotten to the fun part yet. So my ex-husband is from a more religious, for those of you who are not aware of the demographic of Jerusalem, Mea Sharim is like Williamsburg, but less functional, meaner fucking on acid. So he's from a little village inside of the small village called Toldos Aaron. These people are crazy. My mother-in-law of blessed memory was a very sweet lady who was a product of her environment. She just wanted so many things. We got married on August 15th. It was a preview of hell. The weather outside. It was awful. I had to wear a wig, a dress with a collar that came up to literally my neck and long sleeves, and I stood there as we boiled. I have no fucking idea what I agreed to under that chuppah. And I mean, really, but my ex-husband's family, I mean, I'm a comedian, he's an artsy person. My ex-husband was obviously not like this when we got married, but we really worked together as much as we could. And we planned our wedding in 5 weeks, by the way.
Whoa.
We worked together as much as we could. In Orthodox Jewish custom, that's very common to have an engagement process of, a handful of weeks to a smaller handful of months.
Yeah, because it was late.
Yeah. Well, we were getting late anyway, but for the sake of custom and family, I'm sorry?
Were you living in Mea Sharim as well?
Oh, no, we were living in Brooklyn. His family had immigrated to the States when he was about 16. But I'm saying to comply with, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Where did the wedding take place?
It took place in Williamsburg at Rose Castle Wedding Hall, which alternates as like one of those rent-out disco calls on Friday night when the Jews aren't popping.
Well, and anything with the word castle in it is going to be a good story.
This was ridiculous in a big way. It was sister-in-laws throwing people out of my wedding. I had to get oh God. Now, we had a couple hundred people at this stupid wedding, and some of them were my friends, his friends, the run of the site. So we had a couple hundred people at the wedding. And one of the gamut of different types of Jews and regular people. A girlfriend of mine was dressed in a cute outfit, slightly above the knee, cap sleeve. I thought she looked cute. My sister-in-law said to her she was inappropriately dressed and wanted her to leave. This news made its way to me, and I had to jump in this bitch's face at my wedding in this tent of a dress that weighed in. I mean, this was a dress that was so hot and so thick, it was so opaque that when I took it off later on that night, it stood straight up. I had to jump in her face, and I was like, "Who in the fuck do you think you are? If you do this again, you're gone. You understand? I will grab you by your bald head and bowl you down Lee Avenue before you ever talk to a guest of mine at my party ever again." Verstehst, which is Yiddish for understand. She said, "Yep." We didn't have any problems after that.
Weddings just bring out the craziest and the worst in people.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And so much was done, by the way. So much was done to make these assholes happy. And what makes it even worse is all I wanted. This is silly. It's small. It's ridiculous. It's the one thing that I really wanted. I wanted a wedding cake. I wanted a traditional wedding cake. I wanted to do the picture of the cake. And that's all I wanted. They said that I got there and there was no cake. So no one even told me there was no cake. Oh yeah.
You have a cake at your wedding?
So upset. I started.
They don't give women a lot of rights. Even the bride doesn't get to know what wedding she's having.
Yeah, I don't even understand how there's no cake. Like,
religion's evil.
I mean, with the package of the catering, everyone got a slice of a different cake, but not, I just wanted a stupid wedding cake.
So did you go the route, like, did you have a wedding planner or you did it yourself?
I mean, we planned our wedding in 5 weeks. We planned all of this ourselves. The only request I had, we did so much to try to make his family happy that this wedding had nothing at all, I feel like, to do with me. This wedding wasn't about me, my happiness. This wedding was about his family impressing their peers and their colleagues and their friends, and not even something as small as a wedding cake I could have.
That caused resentment, though, in your marriage?
The wedding cake, no. Other things did. I got over that pretty quickly. But I just felt like so much was done to make you happy. And at the end of the day, why they didn't do a wedding cake. Now, and I want to be clear, I would have funded this stupid wedding cake out of my own pocket. Or there would be, had my girlfriends not known there would have been one, you better believe they would have gotten together and made one. You know what I mean? Like, come on.
Right.
And the reason my in-laws didn't tell me is they thought that it would be a big problem for me, and they didn't have a wedding cake because it was too, get ready, because this is the really horrible part, it was too goyish, which is Yiddish word for it was too not Jewish to have a stupid white cake with or without people on top. I wasn't picky in that regard either. It was really, this wedding had nothing to do with me. So the beach, eloping scenario, that actually sounds really great because that's a ceremony that actually is about you.
It was
and
so
it's
about us.
That's what it was. It's about, I think the whole industry as a whole, or in this case, it happened to be about the groom and his family. Normally, it's about the bride and her friends and family. But that's what the whole push is. Anyway, it's a show. It's a display, and it rarely is about the two.
Well, it's like a woman's Oscars.
Right.
Every woman's Oscar night, but me and Max are both comedians. Like, we don't need to be on stage. We don't need to have people looking at us.
Yeah.
We have it every night.
My friend who was planning the wedding was going through a similar thing that Yael was going through. It was both of the sets of parents were exerting all this pressure on what they wanted and expected out of the wedding, and she was losing all of her voice and say in what was going on. And every day she was like, at work, she was in a conference room crying and screaming at her fiance, at her mom, at her dad. And I just like, that's not how we want any part of our relationship to be, as much as we can avoid it.
Yeah. Also, I like
day,
with secret, when you elope, people still give you money.
Oh, well, shit. If you still get the money and the presents, why aren't we all doing?
We made a killing, and we didn't even invite anyone to anything. So now we're taking a 2-week honeymoon in Europe.
So you guys profited instead of the American way. The American way is to get in debt, fall in love, get in debt, and you guys. I love it.
For a minute when we got back from Costa Rica, we thought about having like a reception and a party for our friends so we could celebrate with people. We spent 2 nights looking at bars and restaurants, and we're so uninterested in everything we saw. We just said, screw it, we'll just stay with what we have.
People over for Thanksgiving, seriously.
Yep. And it's been really fun actually, because the first time I see a lot of different people in different settings, it's the first time they've seen me since the wedding. So for about two months after we got married, people were coming up to me saying, congratulations, that's so great, the pictures look so great on Facebook. It was the celebration got to extend for a couple months. It was great.
That's adorable.
Sounds
because
amazing.
Also, this is supposed to be the most honest day of your life.
Yeah.
It's not about you. You grow resentment towards the whole situation because you better believe by the time that marriage ended, I was at a point where it was like, wow, okay, I sacrificed this, and this, all of these things. Still nobody is happy. We don't work. And now I just have this soiled memory of my wedding day to the father of my children. You know what I mean? And I think of even things that I do to this day that I know, crazy as this may seem, I do them because I know my mother-in-law of blessed memory, I would mean something to her still to this day. And so it's like a subconscious, even beyond the grave, I want this woman to not hate me. Isn't that nuts?
Wow.
I'm crazy.
That's a really
I feel like I'm
good
weirdo.
I'm telling you, it's religion. Religion is evil.
Religion
is not humanity.
I won't call it evil, but I think if you tally it up, it's done more harm than good for the most part. If you had to tally it up, there's more dead bodies because of it.
Yeah, I think you'll appreciate this aspect of the wedding when we're on a beach, and the officiant and the photographer emailed us a week or so before, going, guys, we have bad news. The time that you want to get married, it's gonna be high tide. And we're like, the beach, and they go, yeah, but you'll be further up on the beach. Like, we don't care about that. We just want to be on the beach. But because it was a secular ceremony, the one element that I really wanted to include was the breaking of the glass.
Okay. Right.
And the officiant was totally on board. He goes, that's fine, whatever you want to do. I asked asked at the hotel we were staying at for a glass if they were okay with us buying it, and so we could, smash it and break it. And the woman said, yes, of course. They were so excited to have us there. They go, of course you can take this glass, but be careful. It's Italian glass. It's very well made. It's very strong. And I'm like, whatever. It's a glass. I'll put on a
glass, right? Yeah.
So we get to the beach and we're doing the ceremony, and sure enough, it's high tide. Our feet are covered in water, and we get to the point where I put the glass and I wrap it in a towel and put it on the sand, and I go to smash it, and I forget that sand will sink and absorb the glass. So
right.
I didn't break the glass. I just smushed it into the ground.
So did you like throw it down in like a towel in the parking lot afterwards? Like how?
I got him credit. Italian glass was very strong. We went back to the room and I tried to smash it there. I couldn't break it there either.
I like.
Happened to happen for the company. Maybe I should order a set of these glasses.
This should have been recorded as bloopers, because I love how basically it sounds like the first 15 minutes of your guys' unions was trying to break a glass.
Yeah, a mud fight. The photographer was like, do something interesting. So I started slinging mud, and then we had a mud fight and we have pictures. It was fun.
Aw,
Yeah.
I want to see pictures of this.
The
This
photographer
actually
said he's
sounds
been
like
doing
it's
beach
such a
weddings
good
for
time.
20 years, and he's never seen a mud fight.
Probably not.
Yeah.
I
I have been to really great big weddings, though. I mean, there is a magic to weddings, like when the couple's great and the feeling's great. But I've been to more bad weddings than good weddings.
Right, though that's the rarity, right?
Yeah.
Like,
my best friend's wedding was awesome. But yeah, I mean.
Yeah, I think I could name the ones that I feel like, okay, yeah, that was an amazing wedding.
Yeah.
And I feel like I want this. But
You can do
9
that.
times out of 10 that doesn't happen, right?
Yeah. I also think it's just out of control in this country. It's just become such an industry, and just like keeping up with each other. People are competing to just go over the top, and it's not about what marriage is about, and that's a problem.
Well, that's what keeps me, to some degree still employed, is that people just it's like people just don't know so much, and that that's why matchmakers still have jobs. And believe me, I have gotten no shortage of people that have told me exactly what they think about matchmaking in a negative sense. And but there's still a market for it, because regardless of how far and high humanity evolves, there still is a subconscious, what's the quote unquote right way supposed to be? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Does that make any sense?
So as a matchmaker, have you been invited to any of the
Thank God.
weddings?
Some of them I didn't have to go. One of them I went to, and the other one was in Israel, thank the Lord, so I didn't have to go. Yeah, it was special to not have to go. So far I've only gone to one.
So you've had weddings. You've had marriages work out. That's nice.
Yes. And actually,
That's
a couple
how she
I
gets
set up.
paid.
But that still says something about weddings when the matchmaker's happy. She doesn't have to go to them.
Yeah.
I didn't expect anybody to come to my wedding. I didn't even want to go. I just had to be there.
Yeah.
And I mean, there was a situation with I won't get into too many private details because at the end of the day, it's not my story to tell. But a couple that I set up when I was pregnant, they had just had their second child probably about a year ago at that time. So their son would probably be, I would say, around 4.5, 5-ish now. And what I thought was the child had a lot of health issues that had to be addressed, and to some degree it was a medical emergency, and we were just talking like girlfriends catching up, and she said, I don't even know what I would do without my husband. I don't even know what I would have done without this. He is the reason I made it through this catastrophe of my baby having all these health, it was life-threatening, of my baby having all of these life-threatening situations. And I started to cry because I thought, that's what I thought when I put the two of you together, is that he would be a strong enough to let you be you, but know how to take over and be that rock of support in a non-threatening, non-aggressive. Because when these types of situations and these types of crises happen in life, you have to be batting with a serious amount of kindness and understanding and patience for everybody not to fall apart. So you have this mother of a brand new baby who still has another toddler to take care of, going through all of this hell. And he really did. He did everything I said he would do. He stepped up to the plate, he held it together, and he held his family intact in the midst of crisis, knowing that they could lose a child.
Wow.
Even to this day, I have goosebumps because I think to myself, I always thought that he would be able to give that to her.
Wow.
And it was
Great.
so validating to know that you were right. It's not about being right. It's about someone is coming to you. It certainly does help. It's good for business. But someone's coming to you and basically sharing with you the depths of their soul. Whenever I have a client for the first time and we're doing either a phone consultation or meeting in person, because honestly, I don't need to see you. If I know that sounds gross, but if I can do a phone consultation, you have a million billion pictures on Facebook, you have references that I can call at any given time to collaborate or, whatever your story. I don't need to make time to see you necessarily, but I say, you need to block off an hour solid, and you cannot you cannot put me on hold not one time, and you have to be in a headspace where you can actually talk to me and really kind of share with me the inner workings of your life, figure out how to better help you. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what you need. You've done your life until this point without me, so I need to kind of like on an accelerated basis get to know you, so I can try to find you the best possible match. I don't pair people up for the sake of numbers. It's a waste of time, because if I don't believe the two of you are going to spend the rest of your lives together happily, this isn't like throwing noodles on the wall and seeing what sticks. It's not like writing a joke. You know what I mean? Like,
do you only match in the Jewish community, or do you work secular as well?
Absolutely not. I do across the board, gay, straight, trans, you name it. Obviously more the straights than anyone else. And I usually do not take on overly religious people. Not usually. No.
Huh.
I am a matchmaker, not a magician.
Who do you think Caitlyn Jenner's match would be?
Oh.
Well, does she like women or men?
She likes women.
Oh.
Women. God, I would say Kris Jenner. Shit. I mean, I would. I mean, it's sad, but I that would be
maybe Pamela Anderson.
Oh.
I'm not so sure if Caitlyn deserves all that nonsense after the divorce from Kris. I mean, but God, I don't know. I would say I would say a lipstick lesbian that's very comparable in personality to Kris Jenner.
Wait, a lesbian that's okay with dick?
Right, basically, like a exactly.
Because that exists.
Yeah, that's fair.
It would be a hard match. This would have to be one of those where I'd be like, so you want to explore all your options, because I don't know how I'm going to find someone for you to be with.
Sounds like it'll be a hard sell. But I feel like, to get back on the wedding, everybody has like crazy stories. Maxie was telling me one that you witnessed like a fight.
Yeah, last year. Yell's story reminded me of it. It was two bridesmaids at the end of the night. One of them was looking for her purse and couldn't find it, and so she went out accusing everyone who was there of stealing her purse. And she had a good Brooklyn accent, so she was asking where her purse with the gold zippers was, but she said, "Well, the one with the gold dippers. I'm looking for the purse with the gold dippers." And one of the maid of honor said, "You can't be yelling and shouting at this wedding and ruin my best friend's day." And the bridesmaid slugged her. And the maid of honor, also from Brooklyn, doesn't take guff from no one, slugged her right back.
Hell.
Yeah, and eventually just 2 or 3 other people had to go in and shove them into a room and break them apart so no one else could see what was going on.
So I know there's a show called Bridezilla, which I assume is more of before the wedding. Is there like a reality TV show showing weddings that actually just break down like this?
There should be.
There should be. Like, to watch.
Everything is like before. Like, show us the catastrophic day.
Yeah. The horrors of the event themselves,
all the
right?
snafus leading up to it, and then the drunken uncles and the drunken friends going crazy.
Right.
Sense of self-respect and just seeing what happens. It's great.
I love it. I definitely love it.
I mean, listen, we were so close. I was so close to having to beat the hell out of someone on my day. Listen, if I have to kick someone's ass any other time, that's fine. But on my goddamn wedding day, I think I should have the day off.
Yeah.
I don't know. I shouldn't have to be that person on that day. If you try to buy a property out from under me, I'm going to cut you and your people won't find your body. But on my wedding day, I shouldn't have to be that person. That's all I'm saying.
You're in a business that doesn't stop.
Item to reference.
True. Yeah.
Because I don't care if I'm trying to move in and buy my house. I don't care what you got going on.
Yeah.
Well, we only work in development, Keenan, so we should never cross paths on that capacity.
That's true.
Even
though I feel like
DIY me, I don't know.
I could sell anything.
Sitting out there, we can't recommend enough eloping. On the day we got married, we were swimming in the pool, and I took a nap in a hammock.
I mean, Max,
an hour before we got married. I mean,
you guys have me sold, like 100% sold. I have been reinvigorated about this thing called love. Like, this is a life-changing experience for me right now.
It's out there and it's possible, man.
I got stung the first day we got there. We were getting married like 3 days later, and I got stung by a stingray, like my first step into the ocean. It's so painful, and I had to get this like weird poison antidote that like grew from a tree. I mean, it was a whole thing, and I would still rather get stung by a stingray than play at a wedding in New York.
Exactly, because that's still a story, though. Like, that's still an amazing part to this.
Yeah, it was.
It really is.
Yeah, it was a lot of pain, but at least that was temporary. The pain of planning a wedding is much much longer, much prolonged.
Yeah, and then you gotta pay it back. You gotta pay the pain back.
I need to stop showing up to weddings, though. I just realized that I don't need to go to weddings if I didn't make someone go to mine.
No, absolutely. Knock that crap off.
Yeah.
I had a friend looking at our pictures on Facebook at work, and her boss came up and saw the pictures, and she was like, "Oh, what are you looking at?" And she was like, "Oh, my friend of mine got eloped and got married." And the boss was like, "So you didn't have to go to their wedding?" My friend said, "No." And the boss said, "Those are your best friends."
In your whole life, people above everyone else. Absolutely.
So do you guys, how do you feel about going to like destination weddings? How do you feel about destination weddings?
I've never been.
I went to one when I was younger in college, and so my parents helped pay for all the trip and travel and stuff, but I feel like generally you're kind of a monster if you expect people to travel.
Well, I think that they do it to weed the riffraff.
Extremely well, right? I mean, but how it's like, whose responsibility is it to pay? Even I don't know this. Whose responsibility is it to pay for your travel if you decide to get married in Hawaii?
No, it's your responsibility to pay as a guest.
Yeah, as a guest, it's your responsibility. You buy. I've been to many destinations. I've been to many destinations.
You don't have to go. I mean, I think it's understood that people do it to weed out a lot of people who won't go.
That's a good point about that.
Yeah.
They're generally smaller weddings, and I go to them because I love to travel, so I'll make a vacation out of it. Like,
me too.
If it's a decent place, like I've been to Curacao, that was a beautiful wedding. I would have never gone otherwise. So all right, let me get this stamp on my passbook, and I'll go an extra couple of days than just the wedding guest quote unquote itinerary. So I'm making a vacation.
Yeah.
But
I did that with Amsterdam. I had a stopover on the way to Israel once in Amsterdam, and I was like, before I make a vacation of this shit, let me just, do a layover and see how I feel of 10 hours of this before I make a solid commitment to a vacation. And it was worth it, so I went back. I was impressed in the 8 hours that I got to roam around.
I think that's a smart idea. We had a wedding in Tahoe, and we wrapped Denver and San Francisco into it. And, like you guys said, made a vacation out of it. So, we're not taking one trip out there for a short weekend. Let's do a whole to-do.
Right, like an $800 flight, and I'm gonna be there 2-3 days. Like, you got to be kidding me.
No, that's not worth it. I don't think. I would be very unlikely to pay for, especially if I set the couple up and they wanted me to travel. Nah, it's like, can we make that your gift instead of the fee? Not a chance in hell. I don't want to go. Period.
But even like your close friends, like how close of a friend? Like I'm friends with a lot of people. I'm acquaintances with a lot more. But I feel like after a while, after I hit like 30 and I've been to all these different weddings, and I haven't seen the person since the wedding, I realized that our friendship isn't that big that I need to go to your weddings and give you this gift because I don't see you outside of these big, huge things.
Right.
That's when I started to come up with the rule.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, it's a good rule. If you're not a close friend, and like you said earlier, especially if you haven't met the significant other.
And that's part of it. It's like you get these invites, and it's like, oh, yeah, we were cool in college. Facebook keeps everybody connected now. So it's like you still have this connection, but I've never met your significant other. Like, you've got to be kidding me. I'm not going to start shelling out all this money.
No.
Yeah, but see, women have to do more because we have to go to bridal showers. We have to go to dress fittings.
Not doing it.
We have to go to bachelorette parties where we actually have to buy gifts. Then we have to go to the wedding. Then we have to go to the baby shower. Then we have to plan the baby shower. I mean, I don't know why women
doing it.
It's ridiculous.
If I had to get your ass married, that is my pass for the rest of it.
Yeah.
I'm serious.
I went to one. It was a wedding. First, they had the shower. They had this wedding shower, and it was like $130 a plate for the shower.
What?
Then this is legitimate. This was just a couple of months ago. Then it was the bachelor party, which all right, that's cool, that's fine. I don't know how the bachelorette parties go, but it costs somewhat. But it's just a fun time with the guys. It gets crazy. Then the wedding gift again. Like as a person, I'm just been shelling out all in the name of love, where nothing comes. Like I don't bother anybody. Nobody sends me a birthday card. I'm single. I'm crying in a Haagen-Dazs bike because I'm lonely. Like
did any of the investments in the celebrations of other people's love and fucking joy render, and at least you getting laid by someone beautiful? At least you get that.
It's just too much. They're asking. It's always something new. And now guys got to go to baby showers now, which is just crazy to me. I don't when it was just.
You should go to baby showers. Why do women have to go?
I don't. I mean,
I don't know. you're right. Why shouldn't
That
you
just
have to
starts
start
the baby shower. That it's a woman's responsibility.
I don't know, y'all. If you don't want to go, you women should fight to just get rid of baby showers, not bring us into the misery. That's what should happen. Like, don't say, all right, let's be all inclusive.
They're never gonna get rid of baby showers. Babies are expensive. They want the gift.
My best friend's husband's sister got married. She's my childhood friend. Since we were 4, we've been friends. Her husband's sister had a baby, was pregnant, having a baby. They weren't married, blah blah blah. And my girlfriend was like, well, we're gonna spend this percentage on the crib, and then we're gonna get this, and we're gonna buy that, and da da da. He goes, Natalie, put your wallet down and come the fuck back to earth. I am not funding this life choice. If she wants a car seat out of me, that's fine. That's where I draw the line. You pick in like the $100 or less category on the list, buy one of those, and that's the end of it. And I am absolutely not going, and I want to hear about it again.
I feel like
it's been a handful of times he's asserted himself and stood up to his wife.
Once you look at the registry of a person, whether it's a wedding registry, baby shower registry, whatever, all this stuff, there should be some key essentials that the people involved should get. So if it's a baby shower, parents, they should be the one to get the cribs. The friends can get the accessories, throw pillow, whatever, all that other stuff. I'm cool with that being the chip-in. But when you see these large like things that you should handle as like, I hate when people register at stores that they never shop themselves.
Taken, and you're left only with the super expensive ones. I like the tiered system. I think the tiered system is a great idea if we're gonna have to keep this.
Like, I've been to your house. Everything is IKEA. Why is your registry Crate and Barrel? Like, I don't understand.
Now, I want to be clear, just in case this should ever be relevant at a later date. That when you come into my house, actually none of this shit is Crate and Barrel, is IKEA. All of the shit literally is Crate and Barrel or Pottery Barn. So when you come into my house and you see the Crate and Barrel and the Pottery Barn, and then you see the reflection of the Crate and Barrel and the Pottery Barn on the wedding registry, that the two mirror one another.
Right, that's valid. That you've already set that standard. You're not asking other people to bring you up to the standard.
I'll be damned before I go and buy a bag at Target. I'd rather die with Louis Vuitton, my favorite Nazi, like tucked between Coco and Louis, just my favorite of the Fuhrer, rather than if you bring me something from Bed Bath & Beyond, it had better have a gift receipt. That's all I'm saying. I'm sorry.
You set your own standard, so that's fine. I'm okay if that's your standard. I am not okay. Yeah. It's just like the same thing I told you when I date women. Like, if that's your standard, I will either rise to the occasion or I'll say this is too much for me and I'll bow down. But for you to expect that I'm going to bring up your standard, that's a whole different.
No, I'm not going to register a Bergdorf Goodman. I'm not going to go crazy because I don't expect you to fund my upbringing. You know what I mean? My rise up.
So with the eloping, Vicky, did you guys have a registry?
Sorry, what?
Did you guys do a wedding registry?
No, nothing. We figured if we're not inviting people to a wedding or a celebration, it's unfair to ask them to give us stuff. People just gave us voluntarily a whole bunch of money.
That's good. That's rare, though, that people must like you. Okay, that's okay then.
Did you guys do like a bachelorette party and all of that?
No, I've been going to weddings for a long time, so it was kind of payback as well.
Payback time, goddammit. That's right.
Yeah, we had some debts owed to us.
That's right.
Did y'all do any of like the bachelor parties?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We ended up having them like after. We were only engaged for 3 weeks, so it wasn't a whole lot of time to plan anything.
But my old boss threw mine and paid for everything, so none of my 20 girlfriends had to pay for anything.
Nice.
That's cool. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I had a small poker game a few weeks afterwards with a bunch of buddies. We had pizza and drinks and stuff. It was very low key. I was in my slippers the whole time. We did it at the apartment. I was on cloud 9. I was like, any party I get to wear my slippers.
Exactly. That sounds already amazing.
And Vicky was a trooper. She went out and saw a couple movies to get stay out of the apartment a few hours.
Okay, so gave you the crib, gave you access to the apartment.
Yeah, but I was never much of a party guy. I wouldn't have wanted sort of the typical bachelor party experience. I don't think I would have had fun with that.
We just address again that Vicky is not normal, and it's possible that he's married the one woman like this. So if there is any man, if you come to me now and say, I heard on the podcast, blah, 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 I want someone like Vicky, I'm going to be like, I'm going to have to call her and see what I can find.
No, the point
it's possible.
The point is that you will definitely get that call from men, but the women listening should realize that she is who they should strive to be like. and all the women listening to this podcast right now,
compliance and love. I can think Max may have taken the only one. I fear he did. So I promise.
So lucky. Every time I introduce her to new people, it completely validates that I made the most amazing right choice and decision in my life.
Why? What did they do?
Because look how they're talking about
it. Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
It makes perfect. I'm like, not that I could ever forget how great she is. but it is always so awesome to hear other people fall in love with her
If
too.
he should ever, shit talk you on any capacity, you'd be like, I could leave, and then what are you going to be stuck with? And if that doesn't scare him into submission, then I don't know what I mean. Setting this twice, they're not. You won't. Like, that's crazy. This is not normal. This is compliant and wonderful on a level that I've seen. This bitch might be a unicorn and know how to get into the
I can't
fucking
believe
Narnia.
a matchmaker's mind. This is awesome.
Yeah, you don't think that this should be the normal though? You don't think that this should be the normal?
It should.
Okay.
People should kill people. I mean, it should. I don't know if world peace can extend that far. I don't know.
I mean, at least from where I'm standing, it all comes from a place of mutual. Maybe it's too easy to say, but it's a place of mutual respect and admiration, and we both want to see each other succeed and grow in what we want to do, and that happens to for both of us to be comedy. I think that's supplemented that we're not jealous of any of each other's successes. We're never, in a corner saying, "I wish that were me." We're just encouraging and supportive and really happy with all of our successes, and we're just always trying to get each other to the next level.
So, but that's actually for me. But this is the thing. This is where other people, thank God, not you, but where other people struggle. And I think that this touches on something that you have to take me seriously. You are two like-minded individuals, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. She says yes. I say yes.
Opposite. Well, it doesn't matter if they attract. They don't stay together. You're not going to flourish, grow, become, evolve, and prosper with the person who does not mirror your desires. Why people don't want to believe this, I don't know. But this is how you build a happy relationship that evolved into a happy marriage. You pick a person that you can live with, not fight with. This is it. And people don't believe me when I tell them, if you're a workaholic, unless this woman wants to have kids, raise them alone with help. I mean, these marriages work, but you need to find someone who also has that drive and that push and that pull. If you don't want to have a baby to 40, find yourself a woman who doesn't want to have a baby till she's, in a higher age too. Like, you got to believe what people say when they tell you about themselves, I think. And for some reason, especially with women, I don't know, Vicky, I mean, you're a girl, you have girlfriends, I obviously. I mean, do you ever find that sometimes women they hope that they're going to hone a man somehow into being subservient of their will? Do you ever see that? Like, I'm going to fix you or love you better or anything like that? That's not how it is.
No, it doesn't work that way.
No, you have to like that person today as who they are and standing to you. That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of my biggest
things. To evolve, though, naturally.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And it should be like an evolution. Everybody grows, but that's the difference between when people always say like they grew apart. It's because you could see that both of y'all weren't headed in the same direction anyway.
Yeah.
And to want to change another person for the sake of love is like, it's just crazy to me. Why would you want to change what I approached you with?
Right.
You either reject the approach or you love me for who I am.
Yeah.
And I think it's harsh too to say you're not what I want, so I will mold you to something I like. Whether or not you want to do this, that's my goal, is to mold you into something different. And I think that's just I don't know, that's got to be harsh to live with.
It is. It definitely is. And that's usually when people are married again. This is, I feel like, where women break their own hearts. You know what I mean? They hold on to hope and, I'm going to make you well. No, you're not. You're actually not, though. And, effing this guy on a regular basis, you're not going to slowly evolve into his girlfriend. I had to say to a person I dated for a while who's in the music industry, we hung out with each other actually today before my doctor's appointment. And he told me about a situation with himself recently. And I said, well, I hope that this woman has now broken her heart and yours enough times where you actually believe now at, being well into your 30s, damn near your 40s, that if you ever want to have a wife, you need an uncomplicated person who actually sees all of this and takes it as it is. Because now you've dragged ass 4.5 years with this bitch and you are no sooner to where you wanted to be, 4 years ago. I said, you literally allowed a pretty face to waste your life, and I hope that you've learned your lesson. Straight up.
Yeah, I think that's the foundation for a good starting point.
Yeah, even down to the Zodiac, they were a terrible match. I'm saying, like, on so many levels, down to incompatible signs, these two were never meant to be. And I told him this a year ago. I said straight out, you lost me because of this instability. Fix it. So the next time somebody like me comes along, you're in a place where you can appreciate it, know it, and move forward with it. Because you've burned your bridge with me. I don't trust you now. Period.
All right. And fix it for the other person. It's not like fix it and then come to me.
Right. Like, don't fix this for me. Fix this for you. Let me help you fix this so the next time someone like me comes, boom.
You're ready for the opportunity.
Yeah, right.
I feel like We're actually closing in on the hour. I just want to say, as a comic, you see all these couples all the time, and you can see them sitting in the crowd, and you can tell the ones that have horrible, love-lacking marriages. Like, you can tell.
Yep.
But when this couple came on our show tonight, you can also tell when love is there and it's at the heart. And I want to tell you, I said it before, this was one of the most romantic stories I've ever had. I appreciate both of you guys being on and taking your time. Is there anything, since both of you guys are comics, the show will come out on Tuesday. So is there anything you guys want to plug?
Yeah, I'll be on the Grin and Barrett show at the Grizzly Pear on Thursday, the 13th. I think that is. At 8 o'clock.
Buy my album on iTunes.
What's the name of the album?
When I Could Feel.
All right. Okay. And the Queen, what you got?
And she has a book you can buy called The Russian Drop.
Look how supportive
You
oh,
see?
that's hysterical.
You see how it works. That's why y'all work so hand in hand together.
I think the biggest fight we've gotten into is that she will often give away merch for free at shows when someone tells like
I
a
don't do
sad
that
story.
anymore.
I know, because I chastised you to charge for your products.
Yeah, I have more support now.
Oh, don't give it away.
I don't.
Honest to God, yeah.
I don't.
People appreciate what they pay for. Believe me.
Yep, that's what we would fight about, and I got her to start charging for her own merch.
Lovely. The Queen, what you got for me?
So we are going to start opening the network a little bit after the high holiday season. So if anyone is hoping to find some lovin', send me some bio, and we're going to start. I am actually going to start matchmaking again come October, and download, like, subscribe. We're getting so much positive feedback from the show. Thank you so much for the love and support. Follow me on Facebook, Yael Meisels, Instagram, Twitter, and feel free to post questions and comments. And thanks so much for giving us the support.
All right, and I'm gonna fill in, since we had our buddy missing in action, the Duke Louis B. So just listen to his Crotch Shot Radio show by searching on iTunes or iHeartRadio. He's on Stitcher and TuneIn Radio, and you can go to his blog, Ranting Louis B. That's LOUIEB.blogspot.com. And as for myself, everybody already knows the information's on my website, www.kenanweaver.com, KENANWEAVER. I had a podcast where I was on Unlimited Live, so that should be coming out too. I was a special guest there. Just look out. Everything will be on the website. Thank you guys. Remember, For Love and Play. It's on Twitter. It's on Facebook. Hit us up. We're on iTunes and Stitcher. That's it. Keep loving.